Hey everyone, welcome back. We're continuing our reading of the Tafsir. It's been extremely helpful for expanding our theological understanding and really making things even more explicit. Okay, so let's continue. We were in Surah Al-Baqarah. We were dealing with the verses 121 through 123, alright? And we were talking about Ibrahim. This surely is the highest status for which people may compete and strive hard. The greatest achievement of the messengers, a firm resolve, and each sincere follower of theirs who is calling to Allah and to His way. Okay, so look at that. So Ibrahim you should strive hard to mimic the behavior and conduct and forbearance, right? Resolve, firm resolve. Oh, it's a blessing to just have a firm resolve, to be stoic, to be filled with fortitude, especially if you are a woman and you have calamity, but also if you are a woman and you need your partner to do that. Society needs real men to be like that, and women, obviously. You get my point. But I mean, specifically for sure, men, right? You need men of that caliber in order to keep civilization afloat and to combat despotism. When Ibrahim attained that high status, he sought that for his descendants too, so that his status and that of his descendants would become even higher. This is also a reflection of his leadership, his sincerity towards the slaves of Allah, and his desire to increase the numbers of those who lead others in the straight path. His desire, notice this, to lead others in the straight path, not just being selfish, right? How great was his ambition and status. Allah answered his prayer and told him of the reason why some may be prevented from attaining this status. As he said, "My covenant does not extend to the transgressors." What is meant is, leadership in religion cannot be attained by one who wrongs and harms himself and brings himself down, because transgression is contrary to this status, which can only be attained by means of patience and strong faith. Okay, so if you want to level up, you can't be doing things that are contrary to having a higher self. So you have to practice patience and commit yourself to turning to your maker, right? In other words, those who will be qualified to attain this status will be those who have a high level of faith, do a great deal of righteous deeds. The high level of faith, alright? A great deal of righteous deeds, and are possessed of good characteristics. So you have to have a good character, a very substantial level of faith, and good works. A good attitude, so you have to be patient, forbearing, right? You cannot have any type of wallowing of why me, why am I being picked on? It's alhamdulillah, press forward, onward, endure, right? Got it. And complete love of Allah, so to actually have endearment towards your maker, not just a transactional relationship, and not just frightening stuff. Fearing him and turning to him. So essentially, you need to love Allah, also fear Allah's wrath, turn to just Allah, and don't associate partners, right? How could a transgressor attain such a status? See, so he kind of answered it right for us right here. So if we were doubting, what does a transgressor mean? It means everyone who doesn't have a high level of faith, doesn't have enough righteous works, doesn't have a good character, has a negative attitude, is void of love, is arrogant and boastful, fears nothing, and is overly, very clearly, impulsive and self-serving. The implicit meaning of this verse is that anyone other than the transgressor may attain a position of leadership, but only after meeting its conditions. So only after. So if you were once doing bad, you can do better. Only then, once you turn and strive towards improving yourself, will you reap a reward. But even then, you'll be tested by it, essentially. Then Allah, glory be to him, refers to a lasting sign that is indicative of Ibrahim's leadership, which is the sacred house. pilgrimage to which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, a means of erasing sin. So people will say, why do you go to Mecca? Why do you do the Hajj? You go to erase sin. Part of the reason why, right? In that house we see the legacy of Ibrahim and his descendants, which offers proof of his leadership and reminds us of how he was. Allah, glory be to him, says, "And remember when we made the house a focal point for the people, that is, a place to which they return to attain religious and worldly benefits. It is a place that they frequent and never tire of." Okay, look. So, the house is a focal point. So it's a place in where you gather. And you'll be returned there. And you won't tire of returning to there. And a sanctuary, that is, it is a place where everyone feels safe, even wild animals and inanimate things such as trees. Hence, during the Jahiliyyah, despite their polytheism, the people venerated it immensely, to such a degree that if a man found his father's killer in the sanctuary, he would not disturb him. When Islam came, it further emphasized the sanctity, veneration, and honor of the house. Okay, so even back when the polytheists had it, they also were like, hey, we're not going to shed blood in the holy area. Which, as you know, that is sadly, horrifically, not becoming an endorsed norm in society anymore. It's about time holy places have holy guards, armed guards, to prevent people from doing anything in those places. Take the station of Ibrahim as a place of prayer. It may be that what is meant here is the well-known Maqam station. Okay, Maqam station, the position of which is in front of the door of the Kaaba. Okay, that's what it's called? Okay, look, we're learning about what these dimensions are called. Where 2 rak'ah are prayed following the tawaf, circumambulation of the Kaaba. Okay, so you're gonna go around 2 times. And no, 2 rak'ah. How many times you go around the Kaaba? Which is recommended to offer behind the station of Ibrahim. This is the view of the majority of commentators. Okay, so that's basically what everyone's going to see then. It may also be understood as referring to all the places where Ibrahim stood or halted during the Hajj. Oh! So here, that's a good point to remember. Ibrahim did the Hajj. So that's very important to know for Islam. He did the Hajj, which refers to all the rituals, namely tawaf, circumambulation of the Kaaba, sa'i, the going between Safa and Marwa, standing in the Araf, and Muzdalifa, stoning the Jamara, stone pillars, offering the sacrifice, and other actions that are done during Hajj. Okay, so that's very important theologically for us, right? To know that in Islam, Ibrahim did the Hajj. When you do the Hajj, you're also kind of going through that rite of it. Hence, what is meant by the words, a place of prayer is a place of worship. In other words, follow his example in the rituals of Hajj. Okay, yeah, totally, we got that now. Very clear. So when you go there, you can think in your head, we're doing what Ibrahim did. Try to, focus, be good, don't mess up, don't cause trouble, remember why you came, and think of the past, right? Especially since he just let us know that Ibrahim was highly valued, right? It's like somebody you're supposed to imitate. So if you're going to go do Hajj, you want to replicate his behavior, essentially. So you're on your best behavior. There's no messing around. It may be that this is a more appropriate meaning because that would also include the first meaning, the 2 rak'ah following tawaf, and the wording may indicate that. Okay. That's pretty complicated. I wonder how I watch it on the TV, how on my phone, the live mecha stream. So you can see what people are doing, but I am not familiar with what they're saying exactly, like the whole everything ritual. Like, we get some of it, but it's a very serious matter. It's no joke. You have to prepare for that, right? Oops, I gotta cut it off here, fam, because at the 10-minute mark. Let me know what you thought.